I wanted to take some time in this video to talk about holster retention and why that is an important topic, particularly when we are talking about concealed carry. There is no standard as far as what a holster retention is, as far as like the class or anything like that. It's all depends on the particular manufacturer. You're going to hear terms all of the time: level 1, level 2, level 3. And most of those terms are derived by the manufacturer. What we have out here in front of us is a variety of different holsters that I use. These are holsters that I have regularly carried and are holsters that still are, you're going to see on my hip every now and then. What we have, I wanted to begin with, is what we're looking at. There's a difference between a typical leather holster, which is what we have here. This is a 1791 gun leather holster. If I'm wearing a leather holster, 9 times out of 10, I should say 9.9 times out of 10, it's going to be a 1791 gun leather holster, because they're just an absolutely gorgeous holster. They are very well built and they hold the firearm just fine. This holster has no real retention other than just friction. Once it is on your side, the holster itself basically is going to hold the gun in simply because of how it is molded. This gun, of course, is my Glock 19 Gen 4. This is a gun that has been in a lot of videos. It has the excess big dots. This is one that I have had in countless classes, have had thousands of rounds through. Literally, this gun is a tank and is one of my go-to guns, and it stays in this holster. However, it will work with others that I have here. That is your typical outside the waistband leather holster. Of course, a lot of the things on the market these days, there's a lot of different types inside the waistband. This is, again, a 1791 gun leather inside the waistband holster that I got for this gun. And the reason that I got it is because we went on vacation somewhere that is not I guess you could say, open carry friendly, and I wanted to make sure that I kept it concealed. And this is the gun and holster that went with me on that particular trip. Why do we want to talk about retention when we're talking about holsters? The thing is, if you are ever involved in any kind of a situation, a self-defense situation, an altercation of any kind, if you are carrying a firearm, then there is a firearm involved in that altercation. It could be your firearm, but it is still there, it is still on you, and even if you don't draw it, you are still in a situation, in an altercation where a firearm is involved. Chances are, depending on what happens, what it escalates to, you could end up into a situation where you end up fighting over your own gun. That is the reality of what you could find yourself in. And that is one of the reasons why we want to talk about holster retention. We do not want someone that could be attacking us for whatever reason. We do not want them gaining access to the firearm that we have on us. Okay? Now, particularly when we look at law enforcement officers, you're going to see something like this. This is a Safariland Level 3 holster. This has a lot of features inside this holster. I have my Glock 19X. Again, this is a purpose-built system that I have here. Something like this is typically not going to be carried by someone that is trying to conceal carry. This holster, this setup, is what I use a lot of times when I'm on the range, when I'm teaching classes. It is not something that you're going to easily conceal. However, there are a lot of features about this. Those of you guys in law enforcement, particularly, as you know, when you go to draw from this type of holster, there's a few steps that you have to take. The first thing that you have to do is you have to release this strap. And you do that by pressing down and forward. And once you do that, your thumb is going to be right alongside the ALS release as well, because even though you have that strap forward, you're still not going to get that firearm out. You then must press the ALS release, and then you can draw the firearm from the holster. If you see a lot of these videos to where there are officers struggling over keeping a suspect from getting their gun, and if they are in a holster like this, it's extremely difficult to get this gun out of this holster. In fact, you would have to break this holster in order to get that gun out. And that's the purpose of this. It is to keep someone from just grabbing a cop's gun and using that gun against that police officer. In the concealed carry world, we don't necessarily use something like this. However, we do have similar options, and we have a couple of others here. This is a holster that I carry a lot. This is a Safariland Solus. This is made if you have an optic on your firearm, and has the ALS feature. Basically the same as you've seen, only without the strap. Okay, if someone were to grab this gun, it is not going to come out of this holster until you press this release. This is the ALS locking system here, automatic locking system. That's what that means. So you grip that gun, getting that high grip on that gun. Your thumb is going to press that ALS release, and then you can draw that firearm. This is my Glock 45. These are the XS Big Dots, by far my favorite self-defense sight. You know, this is something that's going to give you some retention. It's an outside the waistband holster with that ALS. It's going to help keep that gun holstered until you intentionally draw it. If you were involved in an altercation, that is going to be an advantage for you by keeping that gun, someone from grabbing that gun from you and using it against you. Okay, that is going to help you. It's not a guarantee. It is just something that is intended to help you in a situation like that. That's just one style of the releases that Safariland has. We're going to look now at something that's a little bit different. This is my Springfield Echelon, and the way that this holster differs from the others, it does not have that thumb release. Okay, it does not have that thumb release in the back of this holster. When you grip this holster, basically your hand is going to hit this lever right here, and this is the release. Okay, it's the grip locking system. Basically, you're going to hit that release, press it in, and that's when you can draw that firearm. You can see there, Springfield Echelon. This is a very nice gun. I'm very glad to have this. Very reliable gun and a lot of fun to shoot. It also looks just extremely cool. Go back and check out some of the videos that I've got it on my channel. Something like this is going to work very well in keeping that gun retained, keeping it in that holster until you intentionally draw that firearm. That's something that you really want to think about. If you're carrying a gun, you want to make sure that no one else is going to gain access to that. When we're looking at some of the retention history that we have, this is a Black Hawk, okay, the Serpa. This is a holster that has a little bit of a reputation, and I'm going to show you why. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I clear these firearms because these are guns that I carry. So I want to make sure that we are completely safe. Safe direction. This holster is one that once that gun is in there, again, it has that retention. The proper way to draw from a Serpa holster is using the back of your finger, pressing that release, drawing it out to where your thumb is going to be indexed outside of that trigger guard. These holsters got a bad reputation because of people using a bad technique when they would draw their gun from them. What people tend to do, they get out there, get online, and you can see several videos on YouTube of people doing this. Basically, they're trying to do quick draw with using a technique that you do not want to use with these. They're basically taking the tip of their finger, pressing that in, grabbing it, and then as you've seen right then, my finger falls right into that trigger. Okay, that's why you do not use that type of technique when drawing from one of these holsters. I don't even know if these are still out there on the market. They may not be. You guys let me know down in the comments below. But if you do have one of these, make sure that you get that proper technique down. Okay, don't be doing this quick draw stuff to where you could end up causing a negligent discharge on yourself and end up injuring yourself. You can see that all it takes is me pressing in on that. When I draw that gun, my finger immediately falls down inside that trigger guard, and that could cause you to have a negligent discharge. I don't carry this holster. I have in the past around my property, but I don't carry it for that reason. Okay, so let's just go ahead and set that aside. And again, guys, I just wanted to take some time and talk about some of these things, especially for you guys who are new to firearms, that are out there trying to decide what you want and what you need. Make sure that you invest in yourself, taking time to get training, to understand your gear. Once you get a holster, if you have found something that you like, that works for you, I'm going to put a couple of links down below in the description. But once you find your setup, the gear that you like, make sure that you take it to a training class and make sure that it is going to perform for you the way that you expect it to. Okay? Over time, I promise you, if you are new to concealed carry, you're going to get a collection of holsters. That's something that happens to all of us. Okay? You find what works in one time of the season, you find what works with one gun better over another gun, and so on. So guys, this is just a quick video that I wanted to do. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What type of holster do you carry? What is the type of retention that it has? That sort of thing, guys. Anyways, I hope you liked the video. Be sure to go over to my website at boomsticktacticalgear.com. Check it out, guys. If you're new here, subscribe to my channel, like and share the video. Check out all the links down in the description below. Guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.